Yes, people. Welcome back to GNA TV. And before we move forward, you know what time it is. Let's cue that intro. Yes, people. Welcome back to GNA TV. I hope you guys are well wherever it is that you may be. Have had a little break. Not going to lie, I was meant to have streamed yesterday with you guys, but unfortunately, I had some family come around, so I had some family responsibilities to mix up with as well. But obviously, the international break obviously makes things a lot more harder, especially from our perspective as content creators. But the one thing we can always do is have a debate show. And today's debate show is going to be about our greatest combined 11, or our combined 11 over the course of the years. And I'm not talking about just the 10 years. I'm talking about 20 years plus as well. So there's going to be a very good mix of individual players that we are going to be going through. Me and Mr. Winter Surfer, actually, who I'll bring in now while I'm talking. That we're going to be going through and talking about our position. And we're going to talk about, obviously, me and Winter Surfer haven't spoke about who we want where yet. So we don't actually know, if we were in agreement or not. We'll see as we go along. But I want you guys in the chat to get involved as well. So when we're talking about the certain positions, give us a shout. There might not be someone, because we're going to do it on a tier maker. So I'm going to share this with people now quickly while we do it. Let's get it up quickly. We have got a tier maker list today. So this is how it's going to happen. We have goalkeeper, right back, left back, centre back, DM, central midfield, left wing, right wing, and striker. And we have a number of images, legends, players that have played for Chelsea that have gone down in the history books that we're going to go through. Not only, like I said, in the last 10 years, guys. We're talking a little bit longer than that as well. And this is one of these streams today where we're going to actually really delve into it and speak about the individuals that are up for, say, nominees, but up for the positions that we believe that are going to be playing, be within this formation suit for us. So, but before we move forward, guys, you know what you need to do. Smash the like button. Please, let's smash the like button. Let's try and get to a minimum of 40 likes as quickly as possible. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. We're 50 away from 2.9k subscribers. And then we're on the road to 3K, which is so close right now. Another giveaway will happen on the 3K as well, which we'll be releasing when we get closer to the 3K mark. I'll let you know how you can get involved and how you can win that as well. But please make sure that you smash the likes. There's over 18 of you here already, so we massively appreciate you all tuning in as well. But let's see how everyone is in the chat, because I haven't been about for a while. We've got Grey Wolf's Dinner. He says, no, we're not doing formations. It's a little bit different today. We was going to do like a formation layout, but we've decided to switch it up a bit and not do that. Abs, big up to you. People, make sure you pepper the button, subscribe if you're new as well. Big up to him as well. Keku says, Keku. Fair enough. Concierge says, afternoon to the legend. Thank you very much. Big Ron in the house. Big up to you. VJ Sports, as always. Big up to him as well. Let's get it going. Lukaku versus Drogba. Listen, Lukaku's not even in this list yet. I don't think about putting Lukaku in this list as of yet. I'm putting Zola in my team. Fair enough. We will go through them together, though, guys. Yeah, do us a favour. Don't give me your 1 to 11 now, because I don't want you to do that. Let's try and go through each position. Let's talk about it. I'll bring it up in the chat as well. Get you involved. Big up to JJ Bridge. Real Chris as well. Big up to Chris. Big up to Hassan as well. Declared, as always, good morning. What a slow week. It has been a slow week, bro. I'm not going to lie. Peter Osgood, we can talk about that, Big Ron. Obviously, it was well past my time, Peter Osgood, so I wouldn't be able to comment too much about it. But again, you're in the chat. Talk about us. Give us a bit of knowledge about him if you have been around in that era to watch people like Peter Osgood. Special shout out for Peter Bonetti. Someone Pele once said was top 3 goalkeeper in the world, but it has to be Peter Cech. And we're going to get into that. We're going to start talking goalies. Yes, we will later on as well. Once we've gone through it all, we'll open it up. you can get involved. Hasselbank versus Drogba. Going to talk Hasselbank. Hasselbank deserves a mention, I'd say as well. More like Timo versus Drogba, number 11 versus number 11. Let's not get into that, shall we say, Winter Surfer. But how you doing, man? Anyway, how are things?
Yeah, all good, man. All good. Like I say, I think everyone we know has had a good time away from streams recently. So I think it's done everyone a world of good. You know, we've had our own international break, you know, so it's all been good. Yeah, but I'm glad everyone's about. Hopefully we can get through this week and we build up to Brentford.
Hassan's having a little bit of a dig at you there, mate, already.
Yeah.
Jimmy Greaves, yeah, here we go. So, guys, we're going to start off with the goalkeeper position, GK. So I'm just going to put GK. You're going to see little things like this pop up. GK in the chat so everyone knows what we're talking about. Goalkeeper. Winter Surfer, when we talk about Chelsea greats in terms of goalies, obviously the list here, even though it was very lastminute.com, has Kudicini in it, has Peter Cech in it, has Peter Bonetti in it as well. There is no Courtois in here, which is, I mean, I could kind of get why he's not in here to a degree, but we can talk about him as well. Egg de Goy, who's again not here as well in this year.
Yeah.
Who for you deserves to be, in your eyes, the number one goalie at Chelsea?
This will be an easy one. You have to put the best goalie in the Premier League history, so that's Peter Cech. Holds the record with the defence for least goals conceded in one season. Holds the clean sheet record even when he played for Arsenal. Holds the clean sheet record. Outstanding since he got here. Recovered from a terrible head injury as well. Put in a man of the match performance in the Champions League final. Just some of the saves he was able to make, and just the consistency of the man. He's just not only is he Chelsea's best ever goalkeeper, and so many United fans may come at me, but I think he's the best Premier League goalkeeper ever. Right now, as we speak. Right now.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, I couldn't really disagree with Peter Cech. I think Peter Cech, for what he's done in terms of what he's won at the club, he's our most. You say he's won the most, especially when you think about the goalies that have come across in the past. His longevity, playing at the top of his game for a very long time. Obviously, there was a lot of people saying, "Oh, he went Arsenal. That's not good." Blah 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 blah. But I didn't really take that to heart eventually, anyway. Because I think we're past that. But he's one of them guys that you can kind of look at and say, "What a goalie!" Some of the saves. Yeah. I always think of the final. I think it was against Liverpool where Andy Carroll's at the back post and he headers it at the goal and he's going one way and he puts his arm out the other way and he flicks it he'd done that so many times. And people used to really criticize Peter Cech. Especially when he came back with his head injury and saying, he's not the same goalie, he's this and that and the other. I actually thought he was, in many ways, he was very good when he first came to Chelsea. Don't get me wrong, I remember in his first season, but it didn't affect him. It just didn't affect him. It didn't affect his way of how he played for the club. He still went into them one-on-ones, even when even when he knew that he might end up hurting himself as well moving forward. And to be honest, I mean, I've got to shout out Kudicini as well because I think Kudicini was. I remember when watching Kudicini. I can't remember what season it was, but he was holding the most clean sheets out of any goalie in the season, and I think it was 20. It's in the 20 odd marks, but he was doing really, really well, and he was so small. Yeah, he was so small, but he made himself look so big in the goal. Like I've never seen the goalie look so. Like his shot stopping was unbelievable, Kudicini. He could save a penalty, 30-yard shots, even from corners where you think he might struggle, come out and be quite demanding. Like you look at someone like Kepa, who we know he's probably the same frame as him, but just couldn't deliver as much. Kudicini at his time in goal was for me one of the best goalies in the Premier League as well. Would you not say?
Yeah. I would say there was a game once against Liverpool. You might remember this term. We won 4-0 in 2001, but Kudicini got man of the match. We won 4-0, but he got man of the match. I think he's the best number 2 that we've ever had when Cech came in. That's the thing. I think that was the best combination 1-2 we've ever had. Might be up there in Premier League history as well. Because when Kudicini came in, there was no issues when Cech was out. There's no issues whatsoever. You had Kudicini in there, he was top goalkeeper, and you can count yourself unfortunate, really, because. For any other team in that time before Cech came in, he would have nearly all the teams he would have started.
Yeah.
He would have started for all the teams. But yeah, he was a great backup. But this is one of the easier positions to pick, the goalkeeper. You can't doubt it.
I always remember him at Spurs. Remember that crazy game where it finished 4-4, and I think Berbatov got through in the last minute, and he sort of put him on his floor. I think it was Carvalho he put on the floor, and then he went one way, Cudicini, and he just left his arm out like that, and he said, "What a save that was!" I always remember that save.
Yeah, he was outstanding, truly outstanding.
He was massively outstanding. Peter Bonetti, someone that was very highly rated back in the day. I've watched clips of him. I'm not going to sit here and lie and say that I've watched Peter Bonetti to talk about him too much. I know that he went down as a massive legend. Obviously, Big Ron, someone that is talking about him quite a lot in the chat. Bonetti is a Chelsea legend. Let England down in the 70s, but what can you do? He got so yeah. I mean, look, he was known as the Cat. I mean, when you go on Chelsea TV and you watch their icons, Peter Bonetti is one of the ones that's always brought up as one of the best goalies as well. And there's also Courtois as well. What was your thoughts on Courtois' time at Chelsea?
Of course, it ended badly, as we all know. The last season, I didn't think he was particularly Kepa. I didn't think he was particularly good. But he added to 2 titles in 3 seasons. He put us some outstanding saves as well. He's very good. I think for like nearly 20 years, we were like 18 years, we were blessed with goalkeepers. Cudicini.
Was it that tall? He was not that tall. No way was he 6'1".
Was he 6'1"?
No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't.
We had Cudicini, Cech, and Courtois. So I think we were blessed with goalkeepers.
We've always had good goalies at Chelsea, haven't we? It's something that we've never really shut up, barring when Kepa come through the door at 70 mil and that really up. But other than Kepa, you look at Mendy, like even the way he's going at the moment, you know, he could potentially be in the chat, in the long run if he has longevity at Chelsea.
If he's here for the next 5 years or so, then he can definitely put himself up there.
Yeah, I mean, Redneck saying the sub should be the Cat. Fair enough. People in the chat, let's see what people were saying. Not only Cech was brilliant, say that he was a brilliant leader. Very true as well. Yeah, you got to put back against the Champions League. The one thing I used to criticise Peter Cech so much on was his penalty savings. He was shocking. He could never save a penalty, and he done it against Bayern Munich and he done it against Barcelona when it was important. So definitely big up to him as well. Yeah, I'm just trying to see if there's anything else anyone in the chat. Not, but people smash the like button. Over 30 of you here right now. Subscribe to the channel as well, please. The link will be in the chat a bit later on. We're going to go on to right backs right now. So right backs is the next topic we will be going through. Let me know in the chat who your preferred right back is in your preferred combined greatest Chelsea 11. We have a couple of tasty ones to go through. Paulo Ferreira, Andrew. We have Branislav Ivanovic, we have Aspie, we have Paulo. Yeah, I said Paulo Ferreira, didn't I? Paulo Ferreira. So Paulo Ferreira, Albert Ferreira. I think Albert Ferreira was
Albert
there.
Albert Ferreira.
I think he was there as well, actually.
Yeah.
Let me have a look. Albert Ferreira, Branislav Ivanovic, and Aspie. Who is your preferred right back, mate?
So obviously before
Steve Clark as well.
Steve Clark, yeah, that's true. Before we won the Champions League again in like this past season, I was hard to split them. But my vote goes to Aspie.
Okay, interesting.
I can see about, but it's a very debatable topic. I think
is it the debate show, man?
That's what I mean. It's a very debatable topic. I think Aspie because just his durability, is able to play in several positions. I know Ivanovic can play centre back as well, but remember Aspie played like a whole season at left back under Jose Mourinho as well.
Stop it.
Yeah, I like that actually. Yeah, but I think I picked Aspie. Had a bit of a resurgence, and I think Ivanovic is great as well, but he had a shocking drop off, and that last season he was with us, which most of the players did. But yeah, I just picked Aspie, but I'm more than happy. Either way, I can see it. I can see either way, but for me, in personal choice, it would be Aspie.
Yeah, I mean, I can't disagree with that. A lot of people would say Ivanovic, and I wouldn't
Yeah,
disagree with that as well. I mean,
exactly.
I think we've had, again, very good right backs. You look at Pala Ferreira as well. Someone that, all right, he wasn't in limelights like an Aspie and an Ivanovic, but had very good seasons at Chelsea. I thought he was up there as Mr. Consistent, reliable, someone that could get a job done. In terms of Aspie, what argument have you got to not allow, not have him in this chat? He's won pretty much mostly everything when you think about it as well. Like he has,
Yeah,
hasn't he? He's got the Champions League now as well.
he's got
So
two. No, he's got the Champions League. Sorry, yeah, he's got the Champions League
yeah,
matches.
he's got
Sorry,
the
so
Europa
the
League.
matches. So it was
Yeah.
Ivanovic. It was for me before he won the Champions League. It was Ivanovic because he's got that over Aspie, but Aspie's now matched it, and they've won 2 titles each. I just think Aspie's his ability to play in so many different positions and play well in them as well, and just be consistent more, I think, than Ivanovic.
Okay, I mean they give us something different, because Ivanovic was more of a goal scorer. He always used to be a threat from corners. You remember, like the
Yeah,
goals
I can
he scored
see
against
that. I can see the. Listen, I'm not going to be disappointed either way who goes in because they're both absolutely fantastic. They are absolutely fantastic. So
do you know what it is? I'm going to go with Aspie as well. I know people are going to say why, but when you think about, I mean, they both had leadership qualities. The thing that for me that makes Aspie so good is his versatility as well.
Yeah.
Being able to play in it and be consistent. When he has a average performance, his average performance is still a 6. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or 7. And it's got to the point with him where it was like, it's normal, it's Aspie. Do you know what I mean? Like he was so consistent with his performances. I remember Gary Neville talking about him on Sky on after a game, saying that he doesn't get looked at enough in terms of actually great Premier League right backs. Should be. He goes, he should be spoken as one of the greatest because to be able to stand up and not go into challenges when you're playing against wingers, to be able to consistently win battles in them, against whoever he's up against, to be able to do what he's done consistently over, with me. When I say consistently, it's the number of games. Obviously, the games that he's been playing for Chelsea, the consistent pattern of him actually being on the team sheet always. Whether it was not right back, he would be left back. If it wasn't left back, he'd be like he was always. It doesn't matter what manager came in. Aspilicueta was always one of the main guys I'd know would be on the team sheet always, and even to today. All right, he's in and out, but he's still there, isn't he? He's still getting in now, playing right wing back. Like
he's the best. For a number of years, he was seen as the best one-on-one defender. That when he played at right back, no one could get past him. And I know Sky Sports used to say it all the time. There was no better one-on-one defender. But they're both. The thing is, they're both legends.
Yeah,
at the club, they're both legends. They're just excellent players.
And that's the difference, El Padrino. When you think about what Ivanovic used to do that's different to Aspie is his importance in winning games for you from goals. And he used to do that a lot. I remember the Napoli game where when Drogba crossed it across, he smashed it into the top corner. The Liverpool game. I wouldn't argue having Aspie in here. I mean, Ivanovic in there. I thought Ivanovic, for me, like Andrew said, is a legend. I agree with Andrew. He's definitely a legend. I just think Aspie's longevity and the consistency of his performances throughout seasons has to not be unrecognised.
He's on the bench. One of these two is definitely on the bench.
Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, we can do a reserve, and definitely in terms of the reserve that plays on the bench, it's Ivanovic. It's Aspie and Ivanovic, and for goalie, for me, it's Peter Cech and Kudicini. I think we can both agree with that one, isn't it? That. So. A lot of people saying Fat Ivanovic was better defender and better offensive. Is what
I don't know. Defending, I think maybe Aspie's a bit better, but offensive, Ivanovic was better offensive. I'll definitely say that.
Yeah,
Aspie has got quite a few assists though. Doing that, so.
Maria quote: "Give me 11 Aspies and I'll win you a Champions League." It's true. He was literally he was that good.
Penalty shootouts every knockout round.
He scored the second goal in the 4-4 draw against Ajax, was immaculate in the Champions League season. Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. He can't be forgot about, guys. He can't. See, some people saying he's better in the back 3 than the back 4. but we're not doing formations right now, guys. This is what I'm saying. We're talking about the overall. This is why I didn't do the create the formation, because then it's easy to pick it based on the position. You know what I mean?
Disagree. I disagree with Alex there. Aspilicueta is fantastic at right back, in a 4. That is true as well. Ivanovic was unreal. He was, both of them. Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree. Jeremy Ivanovic was unreal. Look, I agree. Just can score headers. I hear that. Yeah, look, guys, I'm going to open up the lines. There's over 40 of you here. We will open up the lines a bit later. Let's just fly through it. I'll still leave it open. You guys can come in, get involved, give me your thoughts. Get involved in the chats anyway, because we are going through the chats as well. But make sure you smash the like button, please, guys. 40 likes is the minimum we should be on. I know we was 5 away originally from doing that. We can easily do that over here at GNA TV. So let's just try and push it. Let's move on, otherwise we're going to be stuck mostly. I know we didn't get to speak too much about Paulo Ferreira and Albert Ferreira, but to keep it short and sweet, they were very good right backs, but they just wasn't at the level of the 2 that we picked. Would you agree, Andrew?
No. Paulo Ferreira won 2 titles, was very defensive, but nowhere near the 2 we're talking about.
We are going to move on to left back. And I know a lot of people say, well, this is an easy one, isn't it, when you think about left backs? And I probably partially agree. Ashley Cole is one that's mentioned highly. Graham Lissow is another one that we've got in here as well. And we've also got, I think that's it, isn't it? I don't think we've got any other good left backs, have we? Who else did we have that was a good left back? I'm trying to think. We didn't really, did we?
Not Wayne Bridge.
Not Wayne Bridge. I would say between Graham Lissow and Ashley Cole. Wouldn't you?
Yeah.
We might as well keep it short and sweet with this one. Ashley Cole.
It's Ashley Cole. It's Ashley Cole. If you're the best player in the world in that position during your playing, then you just go into an all-time 11, and that's what he was. He was to me, he's the best left back of all time. People always bring up Roberto Carlos, but what do I want my left back to do first? I want him to defend, and he had best competition, best duel in world football for a time was him against Ronaldo.
Oh yeah,
and if you just watch compilations of them two, that's sometimes better than the actual game. But there's no way you could go anywhere else apart from Ashley Cole. Him to me with the goalkeeper and a couple of other positions on this is the easiest choice to make.
I couldn't disagree. Ashley Cole for me is the best ever left back in the Premier League. That's been blessed there. I know a lot of people will say, Robertson's going to be there soon, Dennis Irwin and fucking Nigel Winterburn and all these people.
No,
there's no one that was better for me than Ashley Cole. Wayne Bridge was a baller, and so was Graham Lissow. We can have a chat about. I like Graham Lissow at Chelsea in the late 90s, early 2000s. Had a very good. He was very important for Chelsea in the way that he was very offensive, wasn't he? In the way he moved forward.
He was. Very underrated. Very underrated. Graham.
Very underrated. Scored some crackers as well. Not going to lie. I remember him picking up the ball and hitting some crackers in the bottom of the net as well. So I think it's an easy one, guys. Ashley Cole. I mean, it's not much really to debate about. Some people saying Emerson mucking around. Ashley Cole for me, the best left back to play in the game. Not even just at Chelsea. I agree. Play the game. Do what he done. Won what he did. Who's going to beat that? Robertson's never going to touch that. That's just why when I laugh when Liverpool fans try and bring a debate about Robertson versus Ashley Cole, there is no debate. I'm sorry, just stop it right there. Maldini was probably the best left back.
He's up there in the conversation. I'd rather have a debate of Ashley Cole against Maldini.
Yeah, I can live with that one. One of the greatest footballers ever blessed.
Not
you know what I mean?
Carlos. I can't live with a debate like that.
So
that comment you just brought up. That's another thing. People think Maldini just played like centre back. I know who didn't say it, but. He played at left back for a number of years before he moved into centre back. He was great at both positions. So.
I hear you. We're going to move on. Instead of we've got centre backs, and I've done that as a pair. So we're going to go through the centre backs, guys. Let's just put that in there as well. Centre backs next. So everyone that's in the chat knows what we're on next. Centre backs next, and there is a couple of guys on here that are worth talking about. We have on here. We have Pat Nevin was on there as well. You know that, but he was a winger, wasn't he?
Yeah. So we just put one of them in and then just talk about who his partner.
Yeah, well, we've got Alex. We've got Alex. Alex is there. I don't know why. Cahill's there. You've
Alex
got
underrated.
yeah, yeah. You've got you got Roy Hutchinson. You've got
Carvalho's in there.
Carvalho, obviously Terry, and David Luiz is there as well. So
you got Desai in there.
Desai's there as well. Yeah, Desai was there. I just saw him. Where was Desai? Yeah, Desai as well. So Desai, John Terry, Carvalho, Alex, David Luiz, and then Ray Hutchinson as well. So,
Cahill.
And Cahill. Yeah.
Oh, Gallas is there as well. Did you put Gallas?
Oh, Gallas is there as well. Sorry, yeah, I only just seen Gallas is there. So is that 7 or 8 in there? I mean,
well,
who's the obvious one?
Let's be serious. Let's just put JT already in there. We already know he's going to be one of them. So that goes without saying. Now we truly can debate who actually partners in.
Yeah, that's a good one. Who partners? Because I think everyone in the chat as well, as over 45 people here, can all agree that John Terry should be in there. Now, if anyone disagrees in the chat that John Terry shouldn't be there, let us know and I'll bring it up. But who partners John Terry? I've already gone through Desai, Gallas, Carvalho, Alex. Who else did we have? David Luiz, Cahill. Yeah, so, let's deal with it. Go on, Winter Surfer. Tell us who are you going with.
Oh man, so you could
Thiago Silva.
Thiago Silva. Oh man, this is hard because.
Well, should we go through them? Let's just go through them very quickly. So let's start with Carvalho. Why should Carvalho? I mean, for me, I wouldn't even argue it. Carvalho for me was when you talk about partnerships. John Terry and Carvalho for me were one of the best ever in the Premier League by far. And the fact that they kept the greatest record of least goals conceded in the Premier League. I think it was 11 goals or something.
15.
Was it 15 in total? Yeah. So, I think Carvalho in his interceptions, the one-legged tackle I used to call, he used to like fall in his side and do that one tackle. His positioning, he had the pace that sort of covered John Terry in many ways. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. They sort of blessed each other. I think Carvalho's got to be a shout, 100%.
I can totally see that. Carvalho was also the master of the dark arts of defending as well. He would do the little pull, the little trip. Do you remember the goal Terry scored against Barcelona?
Yeah.
4-2? If you actually look on the line, he's pulled the goalkeeper's arm away, and we're so lucky VAR never existed back then.
Yeah, I remember that goal,
that goal wouldn't have. But you know what?
He scored goals as well. You remember when he used to run from like the back all the way up the pitch and then lay him off?
Scored a cracking goal, I think, against Spurs once, where he like ran from his box and then hit it. Carvalho for me,
he's got to be one of them. But let's break it down to 3. Let's break it down to 3.
Carvalho is a shot. Carvalho is definitely one of 3.
What about Gallas?
You see, the issue with Gallas is that Carvalho was so good with Terry that they forced Gallas to play left back.
Yeah.
If you remember. And Gallas was very good as well, and he scored a lot of goals, but the Carvalho-Terry partnership was so good that he was forced to play left back and then he left. Didn't he? So
yeah, I mean,
I wouldn't put Gallas in there. He doesn't go above.
I actually think it was very underlooked, Gallas.
I do. I agree as well. Yeah.
When Thierry Henry was at Arsenal, the one defender that he said he hated coming up against was William Gallas, and the reason he hated playing against him was the pace of the man, the strength. He could match, and you knew how quick Thierry Henry was back in them days. He could match him pace to pace every time, and they're French partners as well. William Gallas was a very good player. Does he deserve to be in the Legends icons or the greatest combined 11, which is what we're doing at the moment? Maybe not. Maybe just a little bit out. I mean, Gary Cahill is another one that had a very good career at Chelsea. Maybe not in the limelight as much as the others. Won a Champions League, won Premier League, done most of it as well. I mean, does he get a shout?
Yes, Cahill does. Defo. He's one of the 3 I would pick actually to go there. His record speaks for itself. Partner Terry in 14-15 season.
Oh yeah.
Could have put friendly in there, but overall, playing the Champions League final, not fully fit. Played in the played in the back three for the Conte season. I
I
thought he was. Oh yeah, of course. I thought he was dealt harshly in this last season. I thought he was treated very poorly when he left. But yeah, he's got a shout to be up there, definitely.
Lewis, check your DMs, mate. I sent you a DM ages ago. If you want to join, you can join, mate. If you're still in the chat, check your Twitter DMs. Desailly.
Yes.
I mean, there's a lot of people calling for Marcel Desailly to partner John Terry in this one. I mean, how good was he at Chelsea? I don't think he was that good. I thought he was okay, but
he was that good.
I thought when he came with this, the title, The Rock. I always remember The Rock.
Yeah.
He was, and what he'd done prior to that, obviously for the French team and whatever else, he looked solid. He was good for Chelsea. He was good for Chelsea, but was he great? Like, was he a John Terry, even a Carvalho level in terms of what he did for the football club? I don't think so.
I think his most important thing was actually helping Terry in the first few years when he broke in. I think that's the most important thing, being a mentor. Nothing like you probably Terry's said that multiple times previously about just the education of partnering. It's like the guys now with Thiago Silva. Do you know what I mean? It's like they're getting an education. Desailly, I thought Desailly, listen.
Ron Harris.
Let's face it, when Desailly came in, we were a cup team at best. Yeah. Struggling to get 6th or 7th every season, then getting knocked out the first round of the UEFA Cup by some Norwegian team, something like that. But I listen. I thought the issue is, as great as Desailly was, I don't put him above the other two you've just mentioned.
Yeah.
So it's like
Carvalho
and Cahill. Yeah, just for their contributions to Chelsea.
Yeah.
Overall, I think with Cahill, that was.
Do you put him above David Luiz?
David Luiz got. You know what? There'll be some people that do say David Luiz. For me, if I'm ranking them, I don't put him above Cahill or Carvalho. That's the thing. And David Luiz has had great times at Chelsea. But I can't put him above. For me, people might think it's strange because when we say Gary Cahill, but it's like Gary Cahill. I think he's underrated not only by rival fans but our own fans itself when it comes to a list like this. But if you're gonna single me out, I agree with you, and I'd put Carvalho.
Yeah, I mean, Daniel's saying Marcel was exceptional for us, helped make a stable top 6 club, never finished below 6th with him here, and top 4 several times with no Roman squad or money. Great player. He was, and then obviously I mean, when you think about leaderships and what he brought to the team, I get that, but I just feel David Luiz and Cahill I get. Desailly, he should be there. Gallas maybe not as much, but again had a very good. I mean, Ron Harris, who I didn't watch enough of, who apparently was a monster.
Me neither,
I mean, again, if I knew much or saw much of him, maybe he could have been in that chat, but I didn't, unfortunately. So I'm only going to go on what I feel is the best as well, and I'm going to say Carvalho because I just think what them two had together as a partnership, for me, was one of the best things that I've seen at Chelsea. In my eyes, anyway.
But it is. It's the record. It holds the record.
It holds the record.
Along with the defence and the left back, right back, and goalkeeper, obviously. But it's the best defence partnership in record. There's actual record. No one gets near it.
Desailly's best player were at Marseille, at Milan, not Chelsea. It was good, but coming. I agree, and that's where I think it gets to be big. Right, I know a lot of people saying Desailly, but
I think the term cameo is quite harsh.
Yeah,
he did play a lot of games at us. Remember, he actually started off in midfield for us. If you remember this first season when he came in. He came in after the 98 World Cup.
Yeah,
that way where we just bought a few players, but he rode back. Listen, a cameo is far too harsh. He did play 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He played 6 seasons for us. So to say a cameo is a bit harsh.
This is where the debate comes.
Scored the goal against Liverpool scored one of the goals against Liverpool to get us into the Champions League and Roman to buy us in the first place. So
Well, look, I could see everyone in the chat having it out now already. Look, Desailly, Carvalho. I get it. Everyone's going to have their own reasons as to why a certain injury come in. The lines will be open. very soon. We're going to fly through. We're at the midfield now, and then we're going to fly through to striker. And the lines are open. Come in, have your say. Smash the like button, please, as well. Subscribe to the channel. Over 50 people here. Massively appreciate that as well. Now, we're going to move on to the midfield. And I've kind of split it out to DM and central midfield. And when we talk about DMs, obviously, we have the likes of Claude Makelele. We have the likes of Kante, even though people go, he's not a DM. But this is where I think he would play, in my eyes. Anyway, Kante, Makelele. You have Essien. You have Obi Mikel. You have Dennis Wise, who again he was more central midfield actually, wasn't he? So we'll take him out of that. And we talk about holding midfielders, someone that you would sit in N'Golo Kante, Claude Makelele, Essien, and Mikel. Winter Surfer. This one's not going to be. This is going to be an interesting one. But what's your thoughts? Tell me.
This might sound a bit mad. What I'm going to say. I'm going to pick. We're picking DM, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to take everything and how they played for us, longevity, and everything like that. And it might shock a few people when they see this video because what I've said about him and everything like that. But actually, looking at his record and everything like that, I'm going to say John Obi Mikel.
Come on, let's go. Let's hear it.
I think he is our. And I'm not saying the same person, same player. I think he's a bit like our Michael Carrick. Do you know when it's like I don't think he was appreciated, and I include myself in that. I don't think he was appreciated as much when he played for us. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So I think we took him a bit for granted, and maybe we didn't celebrate him and for what he achieved. You know, because he won everything apart from the Super Cup and the Club World Cup, I think. I think he won everything at Chelsea, and he played for us for like 10 years. 10 years he played for us. Essien, now, the thing about Essien is that I love Essien. People know I love Essien, but the injuries just cut him short. Yeah. Otherwise, I'd definitely say it. But I picked Mikel because just a bit the longevity, the consistency. I know he wasn't the all-time flashy player and everything like that, but I just think I think he has it. And people might go, "Oh, Makelele," and I totally understand that the role's named after Makelele.
What he done at Chelsea is unreal.
He was. But if you actually just look at him and what he did for us, there's 10 years of consistent performances, trophy winning. But yeah, people are going to say Makelele. I don't understand.
A lot of people are saying the complete opposite to what I would say, which is crazy as well, because all I've seen is Makelele's and Obi Mikel's now. I would.
Who would you say? You're going to say?
Joe is with the DM. Joe is with the DM, right? Yeah. It's a position where I don't. The reason it doesn't get, like you said, why the Obi Mikel's and that don't get noticed is because it's a position that people don't really pay much attention to. But you don't realise how important that position is to the balance, to the structure, to what we're trying to, what the system's trying to do. And Claude Makelele at his time at Chelsea was awesome. He was awesome. He was so good.
Yeah,
he was so influential to what we did. However, John Obi Mikel did surprise me a little bit. I'm not going to lie. I mean, I think he's a top. I agree with you. I think he's very underlooked. I actually think he deserves a lot more respect than what people say. However, the thing with Mikel is, even though he was very good, I don't feel like he was always a starter. He was always someone that came on off the bench, or he would play cup games here and there. He was never the main man in the middle with that. And you can't really argue it because when you've got Essiens and Makelele's and it's hard, isn't it, to get into that?
Yeah. That was a true.
He did play some very important Champions League games where we set up to just defend, and he was in the middle with Makelele, whoever it was, just sitting there. Do you know what I mean? And we used to dig out games. I remember them kind of games with him. But would I put him in my combined 11? No. The guy I would put in my combined 11 as a DM is N'Golo Kante. I just think
as a DM.
Yeah.
As a DM. Okay.
Yeah.
100%. You might get some responses for that.
I get annoyed with Chelsea fans when they sit there telling me that N'Golo Kante can't play as a DM, right? When he was at Leicester, he played next to Drinkwater. Yeah, next to Drinkwater. What did they used to do a lot? Very well, which helped him win the title. Kante used to sit and Drinkwater used to break forward. So if he's naturally the one that's sitting, then in theory he's the DM, right? It doesn't matter if he's a little bit higher up the pitch or whatever. He sits, he covers, he protects, right? Now in Kante, in terms of the way he plays his role, because he has energy and he can get around the pitch, people think he's always out of position, but he is actually a DM. And this is the thing. I think he's good enough to. I think he's definitely good enough to be in my preferred. The reason I pick him over Makalele is his energy. His energy. I mean, Makalele was a great interceptor, and N'Golo Kante can do that. Makalele could, win challenges all day long. Kante can do that. The one thing that Kante can do better than Makalele, I feel, is just get around the pitch more. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Makalele's
I just think when I look at Kante, I look at Kante and I think to myself, he is like the complete player in terms of everything that he has to be in a position like a DM. And I just think Kante would be better in my system than have him, because a lot of people say, no, he needs to play. But in the way I play my best 11, I would have Kante holding and I would have two midfielders. Either, we're going to get to that in a bit. But that's why I'd choose him over Makalele, because I feel like he would offer more energy.
The issue is, if we were doing, let me be honest with you, we were doing an actual formation, I would have the both of them in there in sort of a 4-2-3-1 or a hybrid 4-3-3.
Yeah.
And have Makalele sitting and allowing Kante to do his best, because Makalele was the master of the 5-yard pass in any direction. And he didn't need to be, I'll tell you why he didn't need to be pacey, which he was a little bit. He didn't need to be, because he was always there. He was always in position. And just to respond to Robin George, Kante, I don't like Kante as a sole DM. I think he works better in a 2 if we're going to have him defensive. But listen,
I think you can do it.
I don't know. I don't know, because look. I don't know, because even at Leicester, I know he said he'd done it at Leicester, but I do remember him slightly going a bit more forward more times than him and Drinkwater used to exchange a bit, and that's what worked well at Leicester, that they were both able to do that. I can understand if we're picking
this thing of him being a bad pass is nonsense now as well. Because
we're just talking about But I listen. I just think if we're picking a sole DM for Chelsea in all-time 11, I know Makalele would go into any team, and I understand that. I just think when I take in everything, it's how they played, how long they played for us, what they've won, were they integral to the trophies that we won, and everything like that. And Makalele certainly was, for the trophies he won. He was totally integral.
100%.
Yeah.
He's the easy option.
Yeah. It's the easy option. You would go Makalele.
He's the easy option, and he walks in because he deserves to walk in. The name, the role was named after the guy. Do you know what I mean? And
Makalele. I wish we got Makalele like 4 or 5 years. We should have got taken on 4 or 5 years before, because he would have been with us like 10 years, and I would have gone Makalele all day long. But we got him, and we got 5 great years out of Makalele.
All right,
5 great.
Fair
years.
enough.
Listen. If we got 2, let the chat decide.
All right, cool.
Should we just leave them there and let the chat decide later?
No Makalele. So forget Makalele, right? I will give you the opportunity to come in and have your say. Yeah. So if you want to come in, but at the moment we've got John Obi Mikel and we've got N'Golo Kante. Who do you? I mean, Matic as well. I know Matic was a great, but again, I don't know. But
I don't think he goes up against.
Out of Kante and John Obi Mikel, who should be the sole winner? And I'll let the people in the chat go. So it's either Kante or Mikel, just in our combined 11. I'll let you pick. And then, like I said, we'll open up the lines and you guys can get involved and change it around and do whatever you want to do. But you have to smash the like button. Let's do that first. Let's get to 50 likes. What are we even on? I don't even know what. We've got over 60 people here. We should have at least 50 likes, guys. Come on. We got it. But we're only on 33 likes, guys. We should be on 40. We should easily be on 40 likes right now. Come on. Smash the like button, please. And do that. We have Redneck. I just said you can come in and throw Makalele in. And I wouldn't argue it. Like, honestly, Daniel's saying Kante. Kante's name would be immortalized if he won Ballon d'Or now. Why Jorginho should not win? Okay,
doesn't make any sense, Robin, what you just said. But okay.
Kante 2, Mikel 1, Kante 3, Kante 4, Kante 5. Oh, it's Kante, isn't it? Let's just say Kante.
Yeah,
I mean, everyone.
I just think that's not as good as Kante is, and I do agree. I just think sometimes what we talked about earlier, maybe recency bias a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, listen, they're all great players. There's no right and wrong answer.
Yeah,
They're all great. I wouldn't even argue any of them. I wouldn't, honestly. I'd be like, okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But let's move to central midfielders. Let's get into it.
Yeah.
Let's just try and speed it up a bit.
How many are we picking?
So we have, let's have a look. Cesc Fabregas.
Yeah.
We have. Is Oscar? Would you throw Oscar in there or not?
Yeah, you can throw Oscar in there.
Cesc Fabregas.
I know he played. I know he played in 4-2-3-1 formation.
Yeah. Lampard, obviously. It's in Ballack, Deco, Ramirez. Who else have we got here? Mata. No, Mata's not. Mata's a bit. No, sorry. Dennis Wise, Di Matteo. So, all right. So between Dennis Wise, Di Matteo, Ruud Gullit, Ballack, Lampard, Ramirez.
What, this is like the centre back thing. You know, Lampard's going in there, so it's like it's like going.
Well, we need two there anyway. So Lampard's one of them. Again, Lampard, people in the chat. Who would we have next to Frank Lampard? Who would be your man next to Frank Lampard? I've read them out all to you already. There's loads there. Get it in the chat. Ballack. Let's start with Ballack. Does he deserve to be, for you, one of the guys that walks into this combined 11?
I think he goes in there. I think he was another one. You know, that's when I think I truly felt we'd made it a look like we were on our road to becoming the big club. We signed Michael Ballack on a free transfer. This is Michael Ballack on a free transfer. He could have gone at that time. He could have gone anywhere in European football. Could have gone anywhere. Could have gone to Barcelona, Real Madrid. Could have stayed at Bayern Munich. You know, could have gone to Manchester United or anything like that. And we signed him on a big transfer. And if you look at the same time, Jim, if you look at Mourinho's face when he's like with Shevchenko when he announced him, and then when he's with Ballack, you can tell that he loves that he signed Michael Ballack and not Shevchenko. You can just tell in his body language. But Ballack, now let me get straight. Ballack had sort of a slow start his first season bedding in, and then had a big injury at the end. But then at the end of that season, but then came back in the middle of next season and really didn't look back. I thought he was integral. I thought people were going to ask whether him and Lampard would work in the same team. It did. Of course, when you have Makelele behind you, Essien or Mikel behind you, it helps as well. But I thought he was, I thought he deserves to be in. He deserves to be in the conversation at least. Scored some vital goals as well in his Chelsea career, and got some good assists as well.
We got a lot of people in the chat. I've asked the question. Obviously, Fabregas pops up a lot. Ballack's popped up a couple of times. Ruud Gullit for someone else as well that's come in as well. Fabregas is better than Gerrard. Fabregas. I mean, let's get into Fabregas. When you look at what he done at Chelsea, in terms of, I don't think we've had a better creator, assister in what he did at Chelsea. He has to be up there, isn't he? As one of the guys that deserve to be. Yeah. Even though he came from Arsenal, he saw the bright light. And he came to Chelsea,
Barcelona,
and via Barcelona, and he became successful from that. I would personally choose, if it's between Ballack, Deco, Fabregas, Oscar, Gullit, Wise, Di Matteo, Mata, I would choose Cesc Fabregas. I just think he's impact. When you think about when he came to Chelsea, all right, he wasn't at Chelsea for so long. He'd done a good couple of seasons at Chelsea. But in what he did at Chelsea in that short period of time and how important he became to the club, I would put him or Ballack in. They would be my two. I know why. Look, Dennis Wise is a great leader and captain. I wouldn't turn him away. Di Matteo, I don't think makes that list. No. You know, Mata was very good at Chelsea, but didn't. You know, the longevity kicks it out for me in many ways.
Also, I wouldn't count Mata in the midfield three. I'd count him as like a right or left wing option that we're going to talk about. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. That would be for me. That I wouldn't count Mata in this bit because he mostly played wide for Chelsea. Yeah. So Fabregas is in there. I think 18 assists his first season, which was awesome. Scored a few goals as well. Second season was like the rest, really. Then the Conte season, he was actually in and out, but still actually provided some good assists and everything like that.
No, Redneck. No, that's where I disagree.
No, he was not. He was not at Chelsea. He was not. He was not better at all.
Deco was never better than Ballack. He never used to even make the team. I know that for a fact. He used to come, when we bought Deco and we had Ballack, Lampard, Deco, Essie, and Makaleli. Deco was the one that was hardly ever played. He used to come in on games here and there, but no way. Oscar?
We got Deco right at the end. We got broken. We got old Deco. Oscar was a baller, but I just don't think he goes in. Listen, there's a shout for. I think it's Fabregas or Ballack for me that goes in.
If you had to choose out the two,
I'm going to go.
They're both right answers for me.
I'm just going to. Damn it. See, they're both victims of inconsistent Chelsea teams. Although, I'll go Cesc. For his record-breaking assists at Chelsea, and he was pivotal in. No, not in an all-time legend. No.
Mason Mount.
He's struggling to get into this Chelsea 11 at the moment. Let's wait till.
Listen, if you've noticed, guys, I haven't included any of the players around now other than Aspie, to be honest, because I don't think they actually deserve to be in the chat. That's my way I feel anyway.
I'll pick Fabregas. He's pivotal in 2 title wins. And I know Ballack was in a title win as well, but I think just because they were just so close, and I picked Fabregas. I would have loved to see him play with Lampard. That never happened, obviously, but that would have been something to see Fabregas feed an informed Drogba, an informed Lampard, or something like that. That would have been something to see.
Cesc. We're going to get to him. Money Mace, King Kai, Ballack. I agree with Cesc. I'm just going to throw it. I love Ballack. I do, but
Ballack was important, El Padrino. He was important.
Yeah. I mean, when you think about, if you look at a midfield of Kante, Lampard, and Cesc, you've got everything. Literally, you've got a goal scorer in Lampard, one of the best goal scorer in Premier League history. You've got one of the best midfielders ever to bless the Premier League, and what he's done in this short place of time, he's won everything in Kante, and you've got the best assister in the Premier League for me. I just think
it's funny that he's only with us for like 4 seasons or something. That says he's got a bigger Premier League legacy with us than at Arsenal.
Yeah.
That just makes me laugh. That just makes me laugh all the time.
Left wing and right wings, Winter. So over 70 people here. Smash the like button, guys. Come on, let's get them likes up to 50. The link's going to be in the chat soon as well. I know a Chelsea fan that would put Mount in there. Yeah, we're not even going to get into that right now.
Yeah, that's just insane.
Left wing and right wing. We're going to start with the left, and obviously Eden Hazard. Is there even a debate? Eden Hazard.
Eden Hazard gets in there. Goes without saying.
There is Malouda, who had a very good career at Chelsea, very important in what he did as well. We could maybe talk about him, but Eden Hazard, Winter Surfer, tell me about Eden Hazard and Damien Duff as well. So you've got Damien Duff, you've got Malouda, and you've got Eden Hazard, and I think that's it. Yeah, they're the three. They're the main three for me. Who are you going with?
Damien Duff. Always remember when we signed him, he was getting on a plane for Blackburn's pre-season, and then we put up the money and got him off. Had a very good 3 seasons. A lot of injuries, scored lots of goals. Very underrated. But
Rolo's not left, guys. Well, actually, you could. I
wasn't going to pick him for that one, but we might discuss the other wing. Malouda, very good. 18 months to 2 years during his stint here. Didn't start off very well. But for me, it's Hazard. It's the only logical, sane choice would be to put Eden Hazard on the left wing. I don't think some people might say Robin or something like that. I just think Hazard was that player.
If there's
dragged us through a lot of games.
If there's one thing that I am happy about being a Chelsea fan, and I've been craving for so long, it was a player like Eden Hazard to come to my football club and do what he did. And not only was he was so important, and a lot of people would say he carried us to Premier League titles, and that's partly true because he was so important to us. Because you've got to bear in mind, Hazard played in some really shit squads as well. It wasn't, he had some decent ones, but he also played in some average ones where he had to step up and. He wasn't always consistent in his years at Chelsea. I agree with that. He did fall apart in one season where he didn't.
I think we let him down. In who we bought.
But we did at the same time. He picked injuries in between that. But when he was great, when he was great, when he was honestly, it was if he wanted to win the game, it was on Hazard. It just depended on Hazard how he wanted to turn up, And for me, what he brought to Chelsea, the goals, the type of goals he scored, everything about the way he used to play football, for me, he's my favorite. He's my favorite player.
I can understand that. I can understand that.
He's just everything that I've been wanting to see at my football club, and I'm so glad that. It's a shame that he's gone down the route that he has now because he's kind of laid off himself and whatever. But I don't really care too much about that. To have seen and been blessed with what we had in him, and the games and the way he won the games for us as well is. I'm never going to forget what he's brought to our football club. Like he's just unreal. There's no one better.
No, I'm. What it's looking like, we got the very best out of Hazard. Almost like we got about, what I mean? We could have. And the thing, this is a weird thing I'm going to say to him. You know what? I wish he was more selfish.
Yes, I do.
In the box, you know what I mean? I wish he was more like, I'm gonna worry about my stats. Hey man,
I did because he's one. I'm not very clicky with players. Like I don't get attached to him. Like I'm very Chelsea first. But with Eden Hazard. Yeah, the Garden of Eden, Walker going around the stadium before we'd even kicked off. And, he always used to turn up in them big clutch games, big games. He was there. You look at the Spurs game, even when they were trying to win the league, it got ended by Eden Hazard coming on the pitch and doing that mad run.
Goal against Liverpool. How many goals against Liverpool? How many great goals against Liverpool has he scored?
He scored better goals. When you think about the goals scored against rivals, there's not many that have scored better goals than he did, if that makes sense. In the way he did.
Got a great goal. He's got a great goal against Liverpool at either end of that pitch. I know he's just sensational.
He's absolutely just sensational. Yeah, I agree with that as well. In terms of the right wing, obviously you've got Joel Cole, you've got Zola. You can play more of an inside forward, guys, as well. Yeah, let's just bear that in mind. You've got Zola, you've got Willian, you've got Joe Cole, you've got Pedro, you've got who else have we got?
Kalu, you mentioned Kalu.
He's more of a striker, isn't he? I'd say Kalu. Kalu as well. I mean, who would be your right winger? Obviously, Joe Cole was great, wasn't he, as well?
Can I just say I would kill for a Kalu in this current team right now, just because he could crop up with a goal or two. Yeah, I know he's frustrating, but for me, I've got to put Gianfranco Zola in an all-time. I've just got to do it. I know people. Oh, we didn't play right wing. I've got to get him in this team because he, 1996 November, 4.5 million at that time, guys. That was a big amount of money. 4.5 million, especially for us.
For a club that didn't have no money as well.
Exactly. Yeah, came in. He won Player of the Year that season in about 6 months. Some of the goals. I mean, he changed. He brought that sexy football back to Chelsea. His goals. I mean, I know people will go on about Cantona and rightly so and Bergkamp, but I think he needs a mention alongside Bergkamp in those days. I mean, some of the goals he scored. Do you remember the goal he scored against Norwich? I think in the FA Cup. It's like a back flick volley from a corner.
Yeah.
It was in the air. It was ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
But then Joe Cole was up there as well. I mean, he was good as well, wasn't he?
Yeah, I know. I credit Joe Cole. He's one, but Gianfranco Zola. You know what? He was said before. This saying's been said multiple times. Ahead of his time. Of his time. I mean, to think of it, if I could pull a player out and have him play with like someone like all those years of Eden Hazard, it would be Zola.
Yeah.
Shout out to Juan Mata, and he had a phenomenal couple of seasons with us. Assists and goals in 12, 13. Willian, yeah, I think he is. He should have a better record in terms of his own stats with us. But I always credit Willian, and people say, "Oh, yeah, it was just free kicks or anything." But that 15-16 season, he was the only one who looked like he could be bothered for parts of that season. I agree. And but Zola for me, just he's my that's the first. That's my first Chelsea hero.
I couldn't disagree with Zola. For me, there was he has been a dying breed of footballer for a very long time. Him and Bergkamp were the only two players that, for me, had magician about them. Like that's what I call them, magicians. Like they were different type of players, that you do not have now around in our game. Zola would run a one with a goalie and lob a goalie and score, which you will never see anyone do anymore. Yeah, and he used to do it from the outside of. I remember the goal against Everton when he lobbed the goalie.
Oh, I
from
was
the
just about to
outside
say
of the
that.
foot.
It was nearly in the corner, corner
Like,
flag, wasn't
and
it?
he put it in the corner. Yeah, in what Winter Surface did with the flick from the corner against Norwich, right? This guy, and he free kicks as well. Very good at free kicks as well. But he was a magician. Like the guy was. I can't explain how good this guy was. He was when rivals used to talk about Chelsea back in the day, it used to be Zola. Like they all loved him. You could not dislike the guy. He was just one of them players that people used to pay to just go and watch because Zola was playing. That's it. Like he would make you want to go because
do you remember that goal against Man United when he started in on the right? Everyone thought he was going to hit it round, fit to the other side corner, dragged it in. Yeah, Michael was just dumbfounded. It was like
I remember the goal he scored in the Super Cup as well when he came on and off and his left foot rocket to the top corner. Do you remember? He was Hazard and Zola for me all day. And like what Winter Surface says, I would easily give up a position just to get him in the team. One way or the other, he has to be in that team. But yeah,
I know what people are going to say. I know what people are going to say. Oh, he didn't play on the right. I don't care. I'm just putting him in this team.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter, guys.
He would make it work. He would make it.
It would always make it work. Zola would make it work. Zola used to play off Mark Hughes. People forget this, right? Yeah, and he used to play more. Mark Hughes was the striker. Zola used to be the one that used to div around. So he did used to play like an inside forward a lot of times. You could do that in his formation. So anyway, strikers, the big one. I mean, obviously Diego Costa's there. Didier Drogba's there. Gudjonsson's there. Shevchenko's there. I don't know why. Andre Flo's there as well. Another great sign. Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank is there. Nicholas Anelka is there. Who is the leading striker? I mean, I know it's going to be an easy one to just say the easy person, but we've had very good strikers. I mean, who for you goes in?
There's only one. There's only one. It's Mr. Finals. It's the big man. It's the best of his generation. Hang on.
Yeah. No, I agree. I agree massively. I think Hasselbank. I think when you think about actual all-out great strikers that can sort of, score with a left, score with a right, score with his head, Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank was that guy. But in terms of Didier Drogba and what he done and what he won and how he won it, it's when I think of Didier Drogba, everything he done was like a fairy tale story. Like we lost the final in Moscow because he was meant to have took the fifth penalty, which John Terry slipped on, and then all of a sudden, he gets the opportunity in the Champions League final against Bayern. He takes that fifth penalty that wins us. But everything he used to do, the type of goals he used to score, it wasn't just. He wasn't a flat track. It was a flat track bully. He was, don't get me wrong. But at the same time, he could score so many different types of goals from outside the box. Or his left, with his right, with his this. He could do it with anything, couldn't he, Didier Drogba? He was just,
unplayable.
Defense. Yeah.
He's unplayable.
He's unplayable, yeah.
He's unplayable. You couldn't play it. You couldn't play it. I mean, as great as we know Lampard was, just think about the goals he was able to get because of the presence of Didier Drogba in the box. Because they put two defenders on him. They put two defenders on him or a defensive midfielder because they had to mark him. He was unbelievable. Look at his record in finals and semi-finals. Look at his record for us. It's unmatched. It's unmatched in terms of just a normal player, let alone a Chelsea player. He's the only striker of his type. He's the only striker of his type.
You know what? He was, but he used to bully defenders, and it doesn't matter if it was in Europe, if it was in the Premier League. They used to hate playing against him because he was just such a handful in everything he'd done. And the other one person that could also do that was Diego Costa. Now I know he wasn't at Chelsea long enough to maybe get in the chat here, but he won a lot at Chelsea. And I mean, what's your thoughts on Diego Costa?
For me, he'd be. If we're doing a list of strikers under like Abramovich, he'd be second. Yeah. Because of what he did, 2 titles in 3 years. It's just you can't. There's no Chelsea striker you can tell me that goes above Didier Drogba. There's just not. There's just not. You can't put a case.
But
You
then,
could say
but
he
then
wasn't.
it's
You
also,
could say he wasn't.
look,
He didn't score
yeah,
a lot. I
we
understand
can't
that.
we can't beat Drogba. Drogba, I get. Drogba gets
Yeah.
in this team all day long. However, if we was to put a second striker as backup in there, you got the
I think
options
it's
of
only between. I think it's only between
Andre
two.
Flo. Yeah, go on. Hasselbank,
I wasn't
Flo.
going to say Hasselbank.
Go on. Who
I
you
was going
going
to say
with?
Nicholas Anelka.
Oh wow. Okay.
Only because Jimmy Floyd was great, yeah. But I think Anelka's very underrated, and also he sacrificed a lot of his game to play in that front three. He played right wing, left wing with Drogba, and he got top scorer one season. And I just think Anelka's criminally underrated sometimes. I could see Costa, but I put Costa ahead of him for the amount of goals he scored and what we won. So, but
I just think Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank's very underlooked as well. What he done at
yeah,
Chelsea,
I agree.
again, he was then thrown in a squad that I'm going to say wasn't the greatest, but when Roman came in, Hasselbank was still there. It was the beginning of ever under Ranieri as well.
What about
he scored.
Johnson?
Good Johnson as well is another shout. Again,
Underrated as well.
I lost my love for Good Johnson after he went Barcelona and celebrated like a prick when he scored against us in the new camp. So he kind of annoyed me a bit about that. But Hasselbank deserves to be there. For me, Diego Costa has to be the second. I mean, Anelka, I liked Anelka, I did, but sometimes I feel like with Anelka, it's like he turned up when he wanted to turn up. Like he was just very interested, or he was not interested, if that made sense in game.
Yeah.
As with Diego Costa, I don't think he was like that. I just think he was that important to everything that we'd done at our football club at the time. So
I understand that.
I'd pick Diego Costa 100%. But we've got some of the boys here. How you doing, guys? You all right?
Yeah, good.
Good. I mean, you can see what we've been doing here. So this is mine and Winter Surfers combined 11. So we've got Peter Cech, Aspie, Ashley Cole, John Terry, Carvalho, N'Golo Kante, Fabregas and Lampard in midfield, Hazard and Zola, and then obviously Drogba, and then obviously backup as Diego Costa. I mean, Abs, what would you change about this, about what you're looking at right now, mate? Anything?
All right, so I think there needs to be a special mention for someone at DM. No one said his name, but for me, the reason why we won the league in 2015 was because of this guy, Nemanja Matic. And I know he went Man United. I know he did. But Matic, at the time when he was with us, was, in my opinion, apart from maybe Casemiro and Busquets, was probably the best defensive midfielder in the world. And he actually played like DM in terms of all attributes. He could pass, he could shoot from range, he was great in the tackle, great in interceptions, high footballing IQ. I'd definitely put Matic as the second option next to Kante, if not Makelele. And then for me, listen, I love Diego Costa. I love the fact that we always trolled Liverpool, but if I'm going for a second striker as a backup, it has to be Jimmy Floyd because of the variety of goals. The perfect hat-trick against Spuds, the volley against Man United, and the time when we were drawing 2-2 with Wolves and the man just came on and said, you know what, screw this, we scored a hat-trick. Jimmy Floyd has to be second. That's my opinion.
Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank. I get that. The Man United one I get as well because he was very underlooked. A bit like Mikel in many ways, very underlooked as well. But I hear it. Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank's a good shout. I do think Diego Costa. I don't know. It's a tough one. I could flick a coin to them two in many ways. But Grey Wolf Stealer, what are you saying, man?
Yeah, I like your team pretty good. I don't know what I would change about it. I'd probably put David. I don't know. Like Cahill was a good player, but I'm not sure why we're talking about Cahill. I don't think he was up there as one of our best ever. Like, not even David Luiz. Maybe David Luiz did do a lot to help us win that 2012 final, but I wouldn't put him up there either.
Yeah, I mean, what's your thoughts on the right back position? I mean, Aspie over Ivanovic or not?
The thing is, I feel like Ivanovic actually was a better right back than Aspie overall for us, but the better defender is definitely Aspie. Like, the player who's done more for us is definitely Aspie overall than Ivanovic. But if we're talking about their careers as a right back for us, then I'd say Ivanovic has done more.
No, I hear that. I do hear that as well. I mean, yeah, Abs has just said he's deep that Ramirez is there as well. Someone we didn't actually get to talk about a lot. Does Ramirez deserve to be in his team? Actually, underlooked.
No. No.
Yeah, he could. Come on, people forget how good this guy was. He
I loved
literally.
Ramirez, man, but not
Yeah, if you
quite.
talk about
Yeah.
best- No, but deep,
You know,
if you talk-
it's not that we have anything against Ramirez, but then you're talking about the best 11 for the entirety of Chelsea, and I don't see how Ramirez is going to be part of this squad.
No,
To
but
be
you see the
honest,
point though. I'm not saying he should be part of the. I'm saying
Ramirez.
he can maybe be a sub because deep.
Well, don't diss Ramirez. Ramirez was sick, bro.
No, but Gem deep it. Who was apart from SEM? Who was the most versatile midfielder we've ever had?
Ramirez.
In the Premier League era?
Ramirez, 100%. I agree.
Exactly. Man could play DM. Man could play number 10. He could play right wing. He could play centre mid. He could play anywhere in midfield as long
And
as
he had the
stuff moving.
pace. He had everything, man. He
Exactly.
could tackle.
The
Yeah,
dink
he
in the
was-
new camp as well. Remember that? Remember the dink in the new camp?
Why doesn't Ramirez not deserve to be in this chat? That's my question marks to the people that don't think Ramirez should be in.
I put him over Mikel.
Ramirez was a good, not a great player. He was versatile. He never started. He never was a consistent starter for Chelsea. The same reason why you don't want Mikel in there. How can you have him in there? And he spent a lot less time at Chelsea.
Yeah.
I think
for
he's paid
once in my
well.
lifetime, I seem to agree with Dan here. He is a good player, but not a great player. Trust me on that.
Nah, he was very good. Ramirez was underrated. I remember I think it was the 12-13 shirt. I got Ramirez 7 on the back because I adored that guy.
Okay.
But even in 12-13, he wasn't starting. That's what's funny. Like
I
he
love the
wasn't
ones
starting.
he used to go on. He'd collect it from deep and then
Did
just
you
go on
forget
this
that
mazy
beautiful goal he
dribble.
scored against Barcelona? That little dink
Exactly.
over there. Do you remember that?
He used to go on these mazy
But I also
dribbles.
remember Raul Mireles' goal against Napoli. That doesn't mean that that
No,
doesn't mean
don't
that he
compare
should be in
it.
there as
Don't-
well. Like stop
Don't
it.
do that. Don't do that. Man. Don't do that. You can't compare that goal to that.
That was a Champions
Don't
League
do
winning
that.
run.
This
No,
thing
but
with
Ramirez
is
scored
never
against Liverpool as well. He scored
He
a lead
did.
against Liverpool in the FA Cup final. Ramirez, he scored in the FA Cup final against Liverpool in 2012.
Yeah, it was very good. He scored some very good goals. I remember the goal against Newcastle, 30 yards out, bang, top corner. Like we don't have, we can't even got midfielders that do that now. We got 8s and 10s
Oh, yeah,
that can't even
he'd go
do
in.
that.
He'd go in any
Fucking
anyone.
hell. Do you know what I mean? What are you saying with it, Surfer?
No, what's great about this is that it's like a Ivanovic Aspi debate. It's like I don't think there's any wrong answer. It's just about opinions. That's all. I think it depends on age as well and who's like studied the team, what they play for. I heard someone say, "Oh yeah, over Mikel." I just don't think people appreciate, and myself at the time probably didn't appreciate how much Mikel done for us and how well he played for us and what he won for us. So Ramirez is a shout, but I can't, for me, in my own opinion, I can't put him above any of the 3 we selected at all.
Yeah, and there are about 4 players that'll go in ahead of him after that, after those
Right.
players.
Exactly. We were trying to maybe put Ballack in there. There's a
Balak is
Ramirez
not
guy
in
like
there.
Ballack.
Etienne isn't in there. Makalele isn't in there.
He's his best. Makaleli, we haven't put Makaleli in
You
there.
haven't put
It's like
you didn't even put Matic in there. You want to
Matic, we didn't put Matic in there. It's one of those. It's like that's how deep and great an all-time.
We haven't got
Chelsea
Ballon
squad
d'Or
is.
winner.
You
Jorginho
never
in
have
there either.
Boots in there.
Jorginho in there, yeah.
Isn't even in
We
there.
haven't-
Who?
No, but Ruud Gullit didn't really play that much. He was literally he didn't play. It was the end of his career, Daniel. Come on.
Yeah.
Do you know your Chelsea history? Just because he came here when he was older doesn't mean he didn't play a lot
He
and
was
captain us.
saucy, but he was
To be fair, he was very important to Chelsea.
Like-
saucy.
But it's not prime
Not-
Gullit. It's not like when what was it? Let me think of an old. It's not like when Desai came in. Desai was a mainstay, and he came in.
This is what you're missing. It's not about him being in his prime. Even at 30, same way when Zola came to Chelsea at 30, he was still Chelsea's best player when he came to Chelsea.
I don't
And
think that's
Ruud
like
Gullit was our. I'm not talking about Desai. I said
Oh,
Gullit.
sorry, I thought you said that. Okay, sorry.
Because we're talking about midfielders, and Ramirez doesn't even get him ahead of him, or Di Matteo, or you know what I mean. There are a lot of other midfielders ahead of him, like almost 10, to be honest.
Yeah,
Nah.
it's a fascinating debate. That's why it's like I don't think there's a particularly wrong answer, but it's all everyone. Some of them are very debatable, which I like. But it's not as if we're saying they're rubbish. We're just saying we're saying that they're not as high as quality as these ones. They're still high quality, but they're not like as high as the ones we think are. Do you know what I mean?
Agreed.
So it's not as if we're saying that we're not talking about a Fred and McTominay situation. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like,
I mean, he's a level above them, Andrew. Believe it out, 2 levels, 3
You're
levels
talking
above them.
you're talking about block of flats above these guys. Do you know what I mean? It's ridiculous. You know.
Well, I want to just quickly talk about the. There was one position I want to talk about, the DM position. I mean, Kante's in there. You heard my talks about Kante. Obviously, Makalele is the easy option. Obviously, Owen Mikel we spoke about as well. Who would be your preferred DM guys? Like who should be playing in that position?
For me, it happened to be Matic because I think Matic was more complete than Kante. I think Kante was better at intercepting the ball and tackling, probably. In fact, tackling is a bit more debatable, but I think interceptions and carrying the ball, Kante probably better. But Matic, in terms of he could break up play, he could pass, he could score goals. I remember that goal he scored against Spuds when he binsed it at Wembley. That just shows you the quality of the guy. So for me, I have to go Matic. Even though he's a pagan, it has to be Nemanja Matic.
You mentioned this goal thing. You know, Conte has a better goal scoring record than him, like by far.
He just scored that cracker against Spurs in the final.
Like you can't use like random wonder goals as evidence of him being a better player. Like that doesn't. You know what I mean? Like he on a consistent basis, Matic never scored. He had one season where he did have eight assists, where he was good doing that, but that was next to Conte. And in that season, Conte was Player of the Year.
Mm.
So it's
we can't talk about goals if we're talking about DM position.
You know what I'm saying? There's no way. For me, there's no way Matic gets in there ahead of Makelele, ahead of Essien, talk less of Conte or Obi Mikel.
No, he gets in above Mikel for me.
No, I just
listen, mate. Matic isn't gonna shag you, man. Relax.
No, Matic has as I said,
Matic was a baller though. Not gonna lie.
He was fantastic, but 3 years was the year. 3 years,
he was
near that long.
And he was. I told you, he was a pagan. That's not was. He is a pagan for how he left us and how he's been treating us ever since. But for the time he was there, and especially even the 15-16 season, he is one of our better performing players. He was better than Fabregas that season, in my opinion.
Well, Fabregas was in and out of the team.
Fabregas had 18 assists in one season.
No, you can't not have Fabregas in that team. I'm sorry.
Fabregas is above Matic for me. I don't know.
You're missing the point. I'm talking about 15-16 season when everyone was down tools. Matic was better than Fabregas.
That's not much of a. That's not much.
Yeah,
I
don't know what that.
Everyone was rubbish. No one was.
That's like saying.
But are we going with a single season's performance?
Yeah, we're talking about like just overall.
No,
Like a career at Chelsea. For me, honestly, I'll have Maka in DM and Conte in center mid. And I get just because of time, right? The time that Maka was here and the time that Fabregas was here, I think it's close. So for me, that would probably be my only change if I want to make a switch.
I can totally understand. That's what when I said John Obi
have Maka in there, have Conte play Balak's role, and Lampard does what he does.
And I said John
Obi Mikel's a bit like how Manchester United fans and other fans view Michael Carrick a bit.
Yeah.
I think he's very underappreciated by Chelsea fans. He was there for 10 years, solidly winning and contributing.
He wasn't a regular starter.
You're talking about a midfield at the time, a midfield of Makelele, Essien, Lampard, Ballack, and John Obi Mikel and someone else.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Of course they're not going to be consistent. Look at that midfield. Were you crying for a midfield? You're crying for just 2 players.
He consistently started all the big
but for
games.
me, if you're going to make an all-time Chelsea 11, for me, you have to be a consistent starter. Like, while you were playing. I don't think Mikel was hardly ever that. He's a great servant. Yeah. He is a great servant to the club and all that, but I can't put him in.
I think if you look for his record, you might find he's more of a consistent starter than you think.
I think when Mikel came in, he came into a team that we bear in mind. We had a Makaleli, we had Essien, we had Lampard, we had Bala. We had so many.
We had a world-class 11.
Yeah, not to say that he didn't. He probably did play more than what he expected. Because I actually said on the stream that the reason I wouldn't pick him for that position is because even though I thought he was important in games and he did play his fair share, he wasn't involved as much as I would like to have seen until obviously the Makalelis and the Essians and everyone started moving on. Then he became more relied upon later on, and then when you look at the Chelsea squads, then they weren't actually that great. I would say they were very good. So, I mean, yeah, it's going to be I mean, I chose Kante, and I stick to why I chose Kante. I know a lot of people will probably disagree with it, but that's my preference. But in terms of the defence, centre back, John Terry and Carvalho. Does anyone else deserve a shout in there or should be in there, or do you think that should be the
Marcel?
Marcel
Desailly in the defense?
Yeah.
Only one that's coming close is David Luiz. The rest already have a chance.
David Luiz. Okay.
Yeah, I'd slot in David Luiz as well.
Bro, like if you guys say,
slow down, Luiz over Cahill.
Luiz.
Yeah, I'd go Luiz over Cahill. I'd go Luiz over Cahill.
Yeah,
let me run through Cahill. Really.
Cahill's bad underrated, but I think he's slightly above him.
Because Cahill won everything. He partnered Terry to win his
to
win his league title. He won. He played in that Champions League final.
Yeah.
Also, right, started that Champions League final. Then was captain. Won the league as captain of Chelsea. So it's like, how can you take that away from him? I think he's our second most successful captain.
Yeah, I hear that.
Behind Terry. So I mean, I have to give credit. Same thing with Aspie. Like, I give Aspie credit for not only playing as long as he did, but also being captain, winning as captain, being able to play, left back, right back. I know that this isn't who can play the most positions, but he has to be in that team because he did so.
What, you choose him over Carvalho? Would you choose him over Carvalho?
Who?
Cahill.
No, but for me, he's the next one up.
Okay, so yours would be John Terry Carvalho, yeah? Is that would that be your two?
I mean, that's the greatest partnership in Premier League football.
Exactly.
It's impossible for me not to pick that.
You can't. Daniel's right. That's why I went with him at the end. It's like, when you hold the defensive record in the Premier League and you've held it for 16 years, yeah, I don't know. And also, they've won back-to-back Premier Leagues together. He's very underrated as well. I think that holds a lot.
Not just the defensive record, the home record. Like, we didn't concede, we didn't lose at home for 5. Like, people forget that we had a crazy home record because of them.
86 games.
We didn't concede
86 games, 4 years.
Like 4 years, we didn't concede at home. I mean, lose at home. So
we didn't lose for 4 years.
This is why I think they're better than Vidic and Rio as well. Like, I know there's a lot of
best partnership of all time.
They are the best partnership. I'm sorry.
All time for me.
It's facts, Jim. Vidic and Rio don't have the best defensive record. It's fact.
Carvalho is underrated, man. He's underrated in the Premier League. Like, for me, he's top 5 of all time defenders.
Yeah,
I think he's underrated.
And the funny thing is, people are gonna say Vidic and Rio will have 13 Premier League titles or whatever it is. You put John Terry and Carvalho there, they're winning it the same number of times.
Yeah,
but honestly, I think we're doing Desailly a disservice.
Yeah, I agree with you, Daniel.
One, the class of player that he was. Number two, because he was part of the group that graduated us from being, a bottom 14 club to a solid top 5, top 4 club. Like, when he came in '99, since then, I think we finished top 4 3 times in his 6 years, and never finished lower than 6th. And this is Chelsea without money, Chelsea without Roman, and Chelsea with a lot of older players, and he was captain there, playing almost every game. I get it, he wasn't in his prime, but for the most part, he played a lot of games during that time, all the important games. I don't really remember like 2000 to 99, but I do remember him in the 01 and 03 season. And he was excellent there still. This is when Terry was still coming up.
I swear
Yeah.
Desai came in 98, not 99.
No, Desai came in
98.
He came in 98,
Yeah.
Yeah, because he didn't win the FA
98,
Cup.
99 is when he came to Chelsea. But I didn't watch that.
No,
No,
because
he won the
I swear-
2000 one, did he?
No, because I swear there was it was either the
No,
FA
because
Cup
there
or
was one in
98.
the. Because Chelsea
No,
was
he
the
won
last
the
to win it.
98 World Cup, guys.
No, I know he won the
Chelsea
World Cup
were
in
the
98.
last to win it in the old Wembley, and that was at 2000, was it?
Yeah, it was here to
Oh,
2004. So 98 to 04.
Yeah, 98.
Yeah, so he's therefore got the FA Cup and
Yeah, it's
whatever.
got FA Cup. Yeah, it's got FA Cup, Super Cup. Yeah.
League
That's
Cup?
it.
I don't know.
No, not the League Cup. No.
Alright.
It's got FA Cup.
Oh
and,
no,
Super
what
Cup.
was it? No, because we won the FA Cup in '97.
Yeah.
We
then
won it in 2000 in the old Wembley. We were the last team to win it,
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then,
and
I
then
think
that's it.
It's true.
it wasn't Hasselbank who scored then. It was someone else. I keep forgetting.
Yeah,
You're probably
no,
going confused.
I do
I'll go
hear that
with
as
it.
well. I mean, the one thing I would say about us overall before we obviously finish off and stuff as well is that we've had such great players, haven't we? We have really had so many great players, and it's hard to argue in many ways positions and who should be where. A lot of it could be preference, and there wouldn't be no wrong answer for me. Like there'd be no wrong answer. Sorry, so I'd always sort of continue saying, you know, like for example, a Makalele or a Kante wouldn't really faze me, or I mean, Ashley Cole is not no one that could beat him, but Peter Cech as well. Lampard and Cesc, some people might say Ballack, over Cesc Fabregas, and I would understand that. Like we've had so many great players at this football club, and yeah, it's let's just hope that we can continue making big legends, like of the new youngsters that we've got now with us at the moment.
Mount's coming for a spot in the future, I think, in this list.
No, Havertz is
Just-
going to be in the all-time 11 watch. King Kai. Roman Diaz.
I reckon it's going to be Timo Werner, to be honest, but we'll see. what
Yes,
happens.
come on, Werner. Yeah, can I just quickly say something about Werner? I know this is off topic, but we need to start appreciating what this player does for us.
Tell that guy there at the bottom.
Not again. I know. No.
The selfless ones this guy makes for us in every game. He was so important to our season last season. Like, we
he's
wouldn't win
so
the
kind.
Champions League without him.
He's such a kind guy, making selfless runs for the.
Wait,
for the
Daniel, what's the
team.
updated record? What's the
So
updated
kind.
record? What's the updated record for the appearances so far this season?
Yeah.
Listen, he has 2 starts and 6 on the bench. We're still going strong. You know what I mean?
Okay,
Like
32, 8. Was it 6:32? So 6 starts and
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
He'll be a
Cool,
main
cool.
starter from now on, I think, because
don't.
that Southampton game. That was the best game we've played all season. Was that Southampton
He
game?
deserves
in my
to start.
opinion.
Though. There's no reason why he doesn't deserve to start right now.
It'll be Mount, Werner, and Lukaku most weeks, I think.
Yeah.
Because Kai Havertz has been really off form.
Yeah,
So,
Kai Havertz has been on form. But
I don't know.
it's a debate for everyone because obviously I don't think either one will make the starting 11. But if you was to pick one, Malouda or Robin, who are you taking?
Malouda.
Robin,
was
easy.
good.
Robin was
Robin's good,
he was
but-
pretty good at Chelsea. He was.
Not when we had Robin.
Personally, I don't think you should mix up the buy-in version and add it into the team. Like, what he's a buy-in legend and he's a Chelsea hero. That's what I call him.
Yeah.
But Malouda,
Robin and Duff, basically. I don't want to hear anything about Perez and that Swedish, I don't even want to say his name, whoever he was, the Swedish forward. Yeah, him. That forward. Them two did not create the inside forward position in the Prem. The original wing duo in the Prem was Robin and Damien Duff.
I see
There you
that.
go.
I see that.
Yeah,
Damien Duff is important. Damien Duff
they
is
used to
important.
swap. They used to swap wings all the time as well. Like Mourinho would just swap them during games to cause havoc.
Big up to Breed. I mean, the one thing I'd say about Robin before he got his injury, I remember the game at Blackburn as well. They blimmin' crunched him on the ankle. It took him out. It completely wiped
That
out
was
the game.
such a
Before
dirty
that,
game. That was a dirty game.
Robin was a player that at that time I don't think defenders knew how to deal with. He was so direct and he was so good with the ball dribbling directly at you that defenders didn't know how to deal with him. And he was so important at the beginning of the season to the way we played. And he got that injury and then people said he came back and he wasn't himself. I agree with that to a degree. He was very reluctant to go into tackles or or run for the ball. Or so yeah, it's a shame we didn't keep Robin on. It really is, because look what he did. He went Real Madrid, didn't he? And then obviously he went Bayern and done his bits and bobs and whatever else. And he's who he is now. Like KDB is, like Mo Salah is as well. You've got to bear in mind these were great players that
we
were
just got
but they weren't
did
great
get good
players
things out of Robin before, unlike KDB and Salah. We got good things out of Robin.
But what I'm saying is they were good players for us, but they weren't great players. They were great players for the clubs that they're at now. There's just two different things.
He's going to be one of the best players and one of the best white players in football history. So.
Exactly.
Why was there no mention or even honorable mention of Mata?
I did say Mata.
Here we go.
I just think that's one of the things I'll never forgive Mourinho for selling him, because he used him at Man United.
It's a shame he was only here for 2 seasons, man.
Yeah, that's the thing.
He doesn't have the longevity.
What matters is longevity.
Longevity is important.
Honestly, if he stayed for
those 2 years were like incredible.
That 12
Player of the year,
12-13
Champions League winning year. Player of the year, had 35 assists and 20 goals.
That 12-13 season.
And where did he go?
Put it down. You could have individually as one of the best Chelsea individual seasons of all time. That 12-13 season.
Come on, man.
Probably the best.
35 assists, 20 goals.
You're talking about
Champions League, FA Cup double.
Yeah, but you're talking about an individual season, then you can talk about Mata. But if you're
and then the next season, Player of the Year again.
Then where did he go?
Europa League winning season. And I think we wanted.
Why did he not try and become a legend of our football club then?
Because you're a legendary manager and a terrorist. That's why. Because Jose Mourinho is a terrorist. That's why.
Wait, Daniel, when did Mata get 20 goals and 35 assists?
12-13. The Europa League season.
Like Thiago Silva then. Because Thiago Silva won us the Champions League in his first.
He was a great player, man. He was a great player.
Mata was cold. I'm not even dissing him. I'm just asking, when did he get 35 and 20? Because I know he got 35 in, what was it?
It was the Europa League season.
Yeah,
the one after.
If we're doing a bench, I think Mata gets on the bench.
Yeah, probably.
I don't even know about that. I don't even know about that.
He does. He's the Spanish player.
Does he?
It's not that I don't rate
him.
I do think what he did at Chelsea was very good. I just don't think he's at that level of the ones that we've been talking about.
That's the thing. That's the problem. We never know. We would never know.
You'll never know.
The only reason Mata doesn't get in there is time. That's it.
What about Willian?
He was here for 3 years. He was here for 3 years. Fabregas was here for 4 years.
No.
I'm not saying I'm just saying that I feel
even William was underrated.
Come on, he did a lot for our team.
William's a legend. William's a legend, but he's not an all-time great.
I wouldn't put him in, but I think he deserves it.
Not a Chelsea legend, Hassan. Come on, have some standards. If we're having Willian as a Chelsea legend and we're trying to call ourselves a big club,
he's a legend.
No, I didn't say legend. I just said he deserves. He's an icon. I put him at. He's an icon.
He's
a legend, but not all-time great.
When people talk about Willian, they talk at him like as if he's like some rubbish player that played. It wasn't. He was off.
He was.
He
wasn't. Come on.
No, he wasn't.
He's awful. He's the most.
Besides, he's lost. He's not as awful as he's.
I'm not having that. That's
the amount of managers that rated Willian shows to me how good he was. Willian was a top player. He was
no.
Willian used to do the shit that none of our other wingers you wanted to do, which is work like a nutter. Yeah, he used to be in every Mourinho team. Yeah,
him and Pedro,
because of the way he used to play his style football. He used to get the ball right, and he used to be very direct with the ball. Right, his output wasn't always great. I get that. Sometimes he could be frustrated, but he scored some very important clutch goals for this football club as well. People forget how important Willian actually was to the way we were playing at the time, and this is what I say. Don't treat him like as if he was this waste of space. He was never that. For me, William was a very underlooked player.
Also, he was out of position because we played him mostly on the right, but actually he was better off the left. Yeah. But because of Hazard, we had to play him on the right.
The ironic thing about William, I think he looked good when we were shit.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Now, it's not as if he didn't. Not say he didn't play well when we played well. I'm not saying that. He had his moments, but if you remember the 15-16 season, he stood out because the rest are down tools. And even partly the 17-18 season, like the back half. You remember his like performance against Barcelona in that first leg, the Champions League, when he probably should have scored like 3 goals himself. I just think he's one of that. And you know what?
The Conte season was good.
Yeah, I think
the season won the league.
Seasons,
was good.
First couple of seasons, I thought he was pretty good.
I'm not gonna lie. What's criminal?
I think against
always them two.
I was gonna say, right, what's criminal is we didn't sell him to Barcelona when Barcelona offering good money for him.
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
55 million.
If we sold
We should have
to
sold
Bar- you know, we could have got.
No,
Chiesa by
they were
half
willing to pay up to 70. They were willing to pay up to 70. I was like, yo, take the money, man.
Take him. I don't care. Willian.
No, that's fine. Then I would have no problem.
I wasn't
that. I don't. You say yes. You don't.
He
You
was a
don't
good
care what.
player,
You don't
but
care
he
if
wasn't
you've got
really
a
all that.
replacement. You say yes. You just say yes. I don't care.
All right, Jem. Hear this then. Willian or Kalou?
Oh, Kalou. It's Kalou.
Exactly.
It's
Willian or
Kalou.
Malouda?
I don't know this.
He was
I don't.
frustrating as well, man. He was.
Yeah, I don't know the fascination with Kalou. I don't get it.
No,
with
he
it.
did. You know what he did?
I'd go Willian.
He just pop up. He just pop up with.
Yeah.
You know what? He scored about 15 goals regularly a season when he's with us, and now I'm begging someone to score 10 goals from the wide position regular season. It's just not happening.
Yeah. You could argue that. I mean, he did used to score some very important goals in it, but he used to stress the fuck out.
Yeah. Oh, totally.
He used to do this crazy run with the ball. He'd be dribbling, like running, and he'd just lose it. And I'd just be like, fuck's sake, why did you play it?
Ones or like
He used to do it all the time. I used to stress watching Kalou sometimes, but then he will come on at like 70th minute when we need a goal, and he would just be on the end of it, and he'd be like, Kalou, do you know what I mean?
Do you know what? As much as I stressed about Kalou, it's nothing to the levels of like any of the wide players now, or Werner or something like that. It's just not. I pray, I beg for those stressful Kalou times.
Does my hair in, man.
I beg for those stressful Kalou times than what I'm seeing now.
Yeah,
I want those stressful Kalou times.
Oh, yes.
Please give me these stressful Kalou times.
No, I agree.
That Juventus game, man.
Guys, we are going to tie up there anyway. Over an hour and 35 minutes as well. Big up to everyone in the chat that's still here as well. Remember when Martial was good, we could have swapped him for William when Joe.
No, but Martial is another William now. Well, he's worse than William.
Yes, I'd take Martial in a heartbeat at that time. Martial's a baller.
Martial doesn't even know what he is right now. He doesn't even know where he should be playing. If he's a striker, like forget that. I don't need another.
He's off to Newcastle probably or something.
No, Jem. Martial, if you played him with Lukaku, you'd see that the guy is a significantly better player.
He played with Lukaku for 2 years.
No, but even then he wasn't playing because it was that scrub Rashford who's playing next to him. Martial's better than Rashford.
No way.
Yes, Martial.
All three of them were playing. He was playing central. They put Lukaku off the right wing because of him. So listen, he can stay where he is. We don't need that kind of player.
Yeah, exactly. We don't need
he's worse than Ziyech, man. No thank you.
No, he's not. He's not.
He is. You know, we moan about Ziyech being lazy. Martial is the most lazy footballer I've ever watched.
Ballon d'Or.
Martial was the reason why United got kicked out of the Champions League in the first place.
Hey, let Man United
I like Martial.
discuss that.
Yeah. I hear you. But anyway, guys, continue smashing the like button. We are going to tie it up here as well. Thank you very much for tuning into the channel. Please subscribe. We're on our road to 3K subscribers. Like I said, we'll be doing a giveaway for that at some point very, very soon as well. I had fun, actually. It was a little bit different, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was a good little stream, to come back on as well. But we are going to continuously do a couple more streams. We've got one on Wednesday. I think Champions League. I think the women are playing Champions League. I think Charlotte might be doing one for the Champions League. And then we've got the preview for the Brentford game, which we've still got to do as well, which will be interesting. A team that's playing very well, especially at home as well. So that'll be interesting to break down and go through as well. So we're back to normal. We're getting there. We're getting back to normal. So continue smashing a like, subscribe to the channel, guys, and yeah, have a good day. Enjoy the rest of whatever it is that you've got to do, and we'll see you again soon. Peace.
There you go.